Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Light the Torch with She Writes Studios. We are highlighting an amazing book with literally one of the most amazing women I personally know, Cindy Whitman. I can't even say enough about her and all that she puts into one day. I don't know how she does it, but Cindy Whitman, this is edition 2 of Manifesting Bullshit. So, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your mindset in creating this book, Manifesting Bullshit, and deciding, you know what, it needs to continue. So this is edition 2.
Yeah, well, the first one was just a mommy-daughter collaboration. It was so much fun, and I felt like, we got some of the basics out there, but I really kept thinking there's more to it. There's so much more to it, and really your experience guides you through your own manifestation. And so I reached out to some of the best people I know that are big believers in manifesting, and we all just got together and came up with this part 2. And it's so true, the title, which is Manifesting Bullshit Part 2, The Limit Is You, because that's what makes it so personal. Is every person's manifestation journey is independent, and so the limit really is you. So that's why I had all these incredible people join me in this book collaboration to talk all things manifesting.
Awesome. And I am so excited to meet each one of you and hear a little bit about your story. So first off, let's kind of go around and get everybody's name, where you're from, and the name of your title. And then we're going to talk a little bit about perspective. So Renee, why don't we start you off?
Hello, I'm I'm Renee Vardiniotis, but as you can see, I've shortened my name for obvious reasons. I am from Philadelphia, and the title of my chapter is The Manifestation Equation.
All right, Sunny.
Hi, my name is Sonny Von Cleveland. I am from Cleveland, Ohio, currently in Palm Springs, California. And my section is called From Change to Change.
Nice. All right, and Crystal.
Hello, everyone. I'm Crystal Laura Cruz. I am coming to you from sunny Puerto Rico. The title of my book is Manifesting Using the Freedom Formula.
Nice. Norma, what about you?
Hi, I'm Norma Cavazos, and I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and the title of my book is My Journey Through Manifestation.
Nice. And Cindy, what about you this go around?
I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and mine is Are You Willing to See It Differently?
Good point. So I'm going to kind of round robin around the room here and ask, what are you hoping perspective wise people take away from your chapters? I'm going to start off with our male perspective here with Sunny. So Sunny, what do you hope people?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
It's a busy life right now.
Yeah.
There's somebody come in and ask a question. What was that? Go ahead.
Okay. What are you hoping people take away perspective wise from your chapter?
I really hope that people understand what the limits that they're capable of enduring and what they're able to overcome. Life sometimes throws us a whole lot of obstacles, and the difference between success and failure isn't the lack of obstacles, it's the way that we approach them. It's our response to challenges in life that really determine whether or not we're going to succeed and fail. And so I hope that people can go through and look at some of the things that I've been through in my life that I have laid out in my section, and realize that you can overcome just about anything, and it's a matter of choice whether or not you get up. And that manifestation ultimately is about belief and choice. So I hope that's what they take away from it.
Okay. Crystal Laura, what about you? What perspective are you hoping the reader will gain from your chapter?
I hope to give hope and inspiration and allow people to dream and really step into the next level version of them by giving some tactical and tangible strategies to be able to see what that next level version might look like by using the freedom formula. So I map out some tangible tactical strategies within the chapter to be able to hopefully see what could be possible for the next level version of our readers.
Nice. All right, Norma, what about you?
I was one that for a very long time, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. But it wasn't until I actually started doing it and thinking like that and putting it out into the world that I realized it does come back to you. So I hope that they see that although this isn't a miracle, this doesn't happen overnight. It happens when you focus, when you put your whole heart out into the world of what you want the world to give back to you. Because if I could do it and it was an eye opener for me, I'm hoping it becomes an eye opener for everybody else who reads it.
Nice. Renee, how about you?
I think I didn't even really understand the word manifestation until a couple years ago, to be honest with you. So for me, looking back at my experiences in life thus far and how one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, and it was all kind of universally aligned in a way that couldn't be explained any other way than a manifestation. So I think in my chapter, I really go into like, you know, the naysayer section where people are like manifesting, what's that, blah blah blah, and like, oh, you're just going to write a check to the universe and it's going to come to you, and that's just not true. That's kind of what's perceived by a lot of people, that it is BS. And if that's how you think about it, it is BS. So, you know, there's much more that goes along with that. It's your mindset. It's how you love yourself. It's how your thoughts affect you, your daily activities, your goal setting. All of that is related to manifestation. Work that goes into it, but you have to have a vision in order to acquire what you want, and that all starts in our imagination. So I think when people understand that their life is happening to like for them, not to them, and that they are able to really do or be whatever they want, I think this book will inspire that, because we've all come from very different backgrounds with very different you know, ideas about what manifestation is. I mean, it could be something so simple as, like I wrote in my chapter, like the vacuum cleaner that showed up on my door that I had been wanting, and Amazon delivered to the wrong house. So things like that, every day we're manifesting, whether or not you believe in it or not. Every day we're manifesting. So I'm hoping that people who are that kind of poo-poo on manifestation or anything about energy and frequency will read this and be inspired.
Awesome. Cindy, what about you? What different perspective are you hoping people gain from this chapter versus what they got from you out of the first book?
Well, my whole phrase for 2024 has been, are you willing to see it differently? And I think that once you are willing to see anything in life differently, you can really shift your life in the way that you want it to be, to become, to happen however you wish it to be. So I hope that they get to see that you can change the way you perceive things. And if you do that, then you're able to really open your heart to different ways that things can come to you. So really hoping that people can see it differently, and then also take into account that you are not a product of your past. You're really can use your past as power to get to the next level.
Awesome. Okay. So now I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to ask a little bit more personal of a question in a way. What was that turning point for you in your life that made you opened your eyes to the fact that manifesting was a possibility? So I'm going to start with Crystal Lore this time.
You saw my eyebrow raise. Okay. So when it really, honestly, it didn't actually come to fruition until about a year ago. And I didn't realize what I was doing. I thought I was just goal setting and mapping out and journaling. But really what I was doing was painting the next chapter for my life during the most challenging season of my life. So I started my business 7 years ago. I just celebrated 7 years in business on November 1st. And when I first started my business, thank you so much. When I first started, I was transitioning from the military. I spent 22 years in the military. And I was like, I want to live on the ocean. I want to live 10 steps from the ocean. And so I wrote it down in my journal every single day. Now I ended up publishing a journal. That was my first book ever. But before that, it was in a notebook every single day. I wrote it down. I will live 10 steps from the ocean. And then I aligned all of my priorities and the things that I would work on each day. I was like, one day, just one day is going to be 10 steps from the ocean. And so I would travel all over and I would practice those 10 steps everywhere I went, I have chills because I have hundreds of videos in my phone of those 10 steps. And I practiced it and I put it out there and I wrote it every single day. And then a year ago, I found my husband to be unfaithful. So I kicked him out, sold everything we owned. And I said, which beach is it going to be? And I moved 10 steps from the ocean. So I live in Puerto Rico, right here, 10 steps from the ocean.
Nice.
It didn't come in a pretty package of, that check at your door, but it came and, open for what's to come. So, yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Norma, what about you?
No, I'm 53 years old, and at this age, I'm still learning and I'm still growing. But one of the things that I realized I didn't want to do anymore was be involved or near any drama or negativity. You know, the life brings all of that to us every single day throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I chose to do something different. If that is what this world is about, then I need to make a change. I owe it a lot to Cindy. Cindy and I have known each other for a long time, and we would compare stories about, and she would say, why can't you? Why don't you? Why this? And then I thought, you know what? Yes. Why can't I change my perspective of the world and change my habits and change what I give to this world so that maybe the world can seem a little different for me? Is it perfect? No, it's never going to be. But I think that if it were perfect, then I would not be able or wanting to challenge myself to do something to make it as perfect for me and my family as I can. Are there going to be challenges? Always. But that challenge just makes us want to throw out into the world what we hope the world throws back at us. And for a long time, I was a worrywart. I was like, oh my God, everything was like a massive, massive cloud over me. And the older I got, the less I wanted to have that heaviness on me. And the less I wanted to see the world as it sometimes is, not pretty. And the minute that I changed that perspective of myself and I changed it with what I wanted for myself and my children and my husband and my friends and neighbors, the world started giving back to me. And maybe no one sees it, but I certainly see it in the tiniest of things, in maybe sometimes the most insignificant of things. But to me, those tiny things, those insignificant things, was now that big ray of sunshine following me around. No longer that cloud, but that ray of sunshine following me. And sometimes it gets a little cloudy, and that's okay, because that means I just have to redirect myself to where I want. Do I want my day to be cloudy, or do I want my day to be full of rays? And so it's when I decided to change in the hope of change.
Love it. Okay. Well, what about you, Sunny? What was that point when you're like, okay, I can take control over this? Manifesting is possible. What was that turning point for you that made you realize different possibilities?
Um, so I served 18 years in the penitentiary when I was 16, and it was during I was sentenced 5 years in solitary confinement where I met my mentor, and it was during that time that um, he really kind of broke through to me, and I started to see the power that you can change the environment around you from inside of a cell. Right? I mean, I'm stuck in this little 9 by 10 cell with nothing but a bunk and a toilet and desk, and I'm able to change the way that officers reacted to me and people treated me just through the way that I responded to other people. And even from that tiny little cell, I was able to have an impact in the world where I started to write essays about how my life is changing in the process of forgiveness of yourself and of other people, and how you overcome trauma. And that started to make it into the libraries in the community. And then I started getting reached out to from local libraries and started getting books inside. And so here I am sitting in this little cell in solitary confinement, restricted from the world. And yet I'm having an impact in people's lives, and my world is evolving and changing from this little hole in the earth. And from then my life just exponentially grew. And again, like Norma said, there's going to be days where you're going to have storms, right? But storms freshen the earth, right? There's always something positive behind a challenge, right? The more that you bleed in the practice, the less, or what is it? The more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in the fight. And it's kind of the same concept that when it comes to manifestation, right? It's not just a wish that you rub the magical lamp and the genie comes out and gives you what you want. At the end of the day, manifestation it's a dictionary for your choices, how you choose to do things in your life, right? Like if you want something, take a step to get it. Without discipline, you'll never start. Without consistency, you'll never finish, right? Great Denzel Washington. And so seeing these things being able to manifest from this little cell, I was able to take that to the world, where I started a music career. And then I wrote my own book, Hey White Boy, Conversations of Redemption, the story of my life to great success, right? And it's helped so many people. And I was able to start my nonprofit organization, where I now put on speaking symposiums, and all of these things manifest, right? You're talking a guy that's got 35 felonies and spent half his life in prison. And yet I just spent 10 days at a top 50 resort in the world, right? Like, you can do anything you want to do in this lifetime. This life, the world is yours. If you look, fly out, zoom out from the world that we're in, we're this tiny little speck in this massive galaxy, all these galaxies that exist, right? And so this life belongs to you, right? And you're allowed to do whatever you want with it. And there's only two choices: quit or keep going. That's the only two choices you have in life. So if you quit, you lose. If you don't quit, you never lose. And you can always just keep pushing forward and do anything that you want. It's just a matter of belief.
Awesome. Thank you, Sonny.
Of course.
All right. Renee, how about you? What was that turning point where you accepted that there is more possibilities?
I was reached out to on LinkedIn about 5 years ago by a complete stranger. And she presented ideas to me about personal development and what my goals were for my future that really shook me to the core, because I had such a belief system of I'm a speech therapist. So you work in school, and what the end goal of a school is to get to retirement, and then you get your pension, and they dangle this carrot in front of you, and that's it. Unless someone opens your eyes to why would you wait till you were 60 something to enjoy your money or enjoy your life in the sense that you want. So, I'm now 46 and I resigned a couple years ago, and everything has changed for me because I decided, and I think that's a word that's really common in this group, is making a decision to make a change in my life in my 40s, which is scary. But, I knew deep down that I made for more, that I can make an impact further and wider than I can in a school. So for me, it was this woman who, universally aligned with me, and we had a conversation, and everything from there changed for me. And no one really understood it. So now we're, working on 5 years, and I'm now writing books about things like this is proof of manifestation, really. Because it's, there's a lot of people that don't understand the journey of making, kind of creating your life. They don't believe in that. They don't buy into that. But I don't want to get biblical, but if you go in the Bible, that's exactly what we're told to do, is that we are here to create, that we're here to expand and grow every day until we are no longer here. And that's not the belief system of many. Yeah. And it should be. because there's a lot of unhappy people in this world that you know, by simply making a different choice. I mean, Sonny could have made a decision to stay in that hole for the rest of his life. He could have acted out or, you know, done something to keep him in that small world that he was in. But no, he made a choice. Norma made a choice to change things for herself or her family, and everyone and anyone can do it. It's a matter of making that decision and having the grit and the perseverance and the persistence and the will to not stop until you get what you want. And that's kind of where I've made the turn, was like probably about 5 years ago.
Love it. It's a decision. That's for sure. We make decisions every day, and some of them small, like we were saying, some of them big, but we have to be proactive in our own decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's one of the biggest problems with people is they think manifestation means wishing. Manifestation is a synonym for decision. That's it.
That's
Make a
exactly what
choice.
it is.
Magic genie is what you're saying. Magic genie.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of magical if you think about it, because everything, even these computers that we were on, were once in someone's mind. They didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about that, everything was created twice. It was once in your mind, and then it becomes a physical form. Well, why is this any different?
Yeah.
It's not.
I tell people a lot
are not awakened to this, and I think that's why.
I tell my clients all the time. I work in the financial services business, but it's really applicable to any business. I tell them to eat pie, and that's participate, innovate, and elevate. So you have to participate in what you're doing in order to take that active role, right? You have to innovate a new path for yourself. And by doing that, you will elevate. So I try to see you can use that in anything you're working on. So Cindy, what about you? What was that turning point? I think I know a few of them, but we won't go into all of them. But what's a turning point for you that kind of made you just really push in that other direction?
Yeah, well, manifesting started with me out of sheer desperation. You know, I'm a domestic violence survivor, and so I was working 2 jobs and putting myself through school, and I was really working so hard, and I was just desperate for something different. I was like, "There's got to be something more for me." And years before, I heard on Oprah Winfrey The Secret thing, and I thought, well, I'm going to give it a whirl. So I watched that movie, The Secret, and at first I thought these people are so desperate and so ridiculous, and I just thought it was so silly that I felt sorry for them, like they could believe this manifestation bullshit, and but because I was so desperate, I decided to give it a try. I watched the show and I went head first into it, and I did everything it said, the vision boards, the check from the universe, everything, and nothing happened. And so I was so frustrated. But then I listened to Think and Grow Rich, and I figured out that it really is more about gratitude, being grateful for what you already have, and like Norma said, changing your perspective, because you can choose to see something as the worst thing, or you can choose it to be the best. You can say, this job that I have, or these 2 jobs I have, or a dream of the unemployed. This crappy car I'm driving where I could barely get uphill is the dream of a car for someone who doesn't have a vehicle. And so once I shifted my mindset and my thought process to it being, in gratitude and being grateful for the things that I did have, that really started to change things for me. And that's how I slowly began doing all the things that I do now. And self-belief and decisions, just like everyone else said.
Great points there. Okay, so now we're getting close to the half-hour mark. So I want to give everybody a little chance here to just kind of end our light the torch with just some little tidbit of inspiration or hope for the people that are listening. But what I want all the listeners to do is go onto Amazon and get your copy of the ebook now. Manifesting Bullshit, part 2. Get 1 and 2, but we're celebrating 2 right now, because each one of these amazing authors is really just pour their heart and soul into this. And if you're questioning, what are my next steps? What should I believe? What should I not believe? How do I gain this perspective that all of them have shared? And get the book, start reading, in a few weeks.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. And so if each one of you can kind of just go around and then, pick the next person to go, and just leave our listeners with some hope and inspiration. So Renee, we'll start with you and then you pick the next one.
Okay. So I think I don't know if I'm going to answer your question, right? I don't know where my direction is, but I just know that I want to leave people with this, is that they say you only live once, and that's not true. We live every day. We only die once. So we live every day, make it count. And that's a choice. It's the choice to wake up and put a smile on your face. There's a choice to be kind to your neighbor or not. But all in all, being choosing to get better, be better, do better, it's work. It's not easy. But the more we do things with repetition, the easier it becomes, and it becomes who you are, and you embody those behaviors and how you are. And other people notice, and it does spread to other people without you even trying. And I think that's what's really important, because even in my own little household here, I noticed changes in my children since I've done this work, changes in my husband since I've done this work. And it's really worth looking into, just pouring into yourself and, showing yourself the love that you share, that you showed other people. And that's where it all begins, is inside. We can't change anything on the outside without changing our inside. So live every day and make yourself proud. And I'll hand it over to Cindy, I guess.
I'm going to say take action. That's the biggest thing in this world, is you can't just sit back and wait for things to happen to you or for you. Manifesting is not bullshit, but it's not going to happen for you. No one's going to show up at your door with a medal saying you won a marathon. You've got to go out. You've got to do the work. So I would love to say to everybody out there who's listening or watching this, go think in ink, think in ink. Everything that you want or desire or dream of, write it down, and then think of actionable steps that you can take towards that goal. Because it's not until you figure out what you want that you can actually get there. And I love to tell people, I could tell Heather to meet me at a Mexican restaurant on Thursday night at 5, and she says yes, but I never give her which Mexican restaurant. She will literally drive around for hours trying to find the right Mexican restaurant. So you got to figure out where you want to go first, and then get the address and get the directions to get there. So take action. And I love what Renee said, as far as you've got to make those choices for yourself, and it's all a choice. So that's my tidbit.
All right. How about you, Sunny?
Do or do not. There is no try. Life is a series of choices. The power lies within you, right? The great Sadhguru says, that the purpose of life is to live, right? So every day of your life, look around. There are so many people in this world that are so much worse off than you. There are people that don't have legs, they don't have arms, they can't move their bodies, they can't move their fingers, they have a mental restraint that doesn't allow them to express themselves. Some people are paralyzed from the neck down. Some people can literally not move their body at all. If you can move, you can change the world. The only limit is you. The title of the book, right? The limit truly is you. There are people that are in wheelchairs that have half of bodies that are motivational speakers that change the world. If they can do it, you can do it. You are made up of the same composition as anybody else. And here's the key to it all. You are worthy of the best life that you can imagine. Right? There is nobody on this planet that is more worthy than living the greatest life possible than you. Every single one of you deserve to live the life of your dreams. And the best part about it, it's just a choice away. You can just choose to live it, because this is your life, nobody else's. This is your experience. Live that life. If you ever need it, reach out. I'm sure any of these people will guide you.
Love it.
Crystal Lore, get them.
Woo! Y'all stole all of my goodies. Just kidding. That just means we're all in alignment. I love it. So I'll just leave. I think there's a lot of themes in everything that we're sharing, right? And I will say that every single day we wake up with 1,440 minutes in a day. Every single day we get a blank slate. and you get to design the life that you desire. And my hope is that you spend 34 minutes of that, 2 minutes of goal setting and gratitude, intentions, manifestation, 30 minutes of movement, because a body in motion stays in motion, and taking a step and action every single day, no matter what, like your life depends on it, because it does. Spending 30 minutes of movement, moving your body, and 2 minutes of reflection and celebration at the end of every single day, owning and honoring all the hard work that you are doing each and every day is my 34-minute mindset. And you get to design the life that you desire. So keep going no matter what, like your life depends on it, because it does. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Norma, round us off.
Yes, it leaves me. I'm going to echo a little bit of what everybody said. Life is too short. Why spend it on something that you don't want to spend it on? I I truly, 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 truly see that throwing positivity out there is going to bring back positivity. And I do that not just for me, I do that for my neighbors and my friends and my children. And I may not see the world giving it back to me when I want it to give it back to me, but I see the little things in the other people that I have thrown it out there for them. I realize that finding the positivity by manifestation of it has brought me an enlightenment and peace. The things that used to burden me and keep me up at night that were out of my control, and I realized that they were out of my control, are no longer keeping me up at night. I will share something. My dad is 80 years old, turned 80 on Halloween, and he has been diagnosed with vascular dementia. And so he has his good days and his bad days. And when I called him on Halloween to wish him a happy birthday, I said, "How's your day, Dad? Happy birthday. I hope God gives you more years of life to enjoy. How are you doing?" And as expected, because of his diagnosis, my dad said, "Well, I'm at home. I didn't go anywhere. I've just been here." And I said, "And that's a good thing, Dad. You're in your own home, surrounded by the things that are yours. You're with mom. You're not at somebody else's house. You're not living somewhere else that you don't want to live in. You are surrounded by the things you have worked hard for. You are surrounded by a roof. You have food on the table. You have your loving wife, and you are celebrating another year of life." And my dad said, "You know what? You're right." And if I can see the world with those rose-colored goggles, I know my words can help others see the world, even if for an instant, just through those same lenses. But you have to put it out there. You have got to perceive the world and situations and obstacles and troubles as they come to you when they come to you, not before they've even arrived. Because once you start putting yourself out there, manifesting what you want this obstacle to turn into, then you don't have anything to be worried about. It will work itself out. Maybe not in the ideal way, but it will no longer keep you up at night, and it will not be that heavy burden on your shoulders. So that is my echoing everybody's sentiment here.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here, being present, making the decision to come to your Light the Torch to represent this amazing book you guys have put together. And what a great conversation we have had. So, again, please go get your copy today of Is Manifesting Bullshit, part 2. And understand that each one of these stories are going to motivate you, inspire you, give you hope in a different way, because it's different humans from all over the place and different versions of stories and different representations of how they made the decision to take their life into their own hands and make the life that they want to live, and how you can do that too. So, You can get the ebook as of today, and in just a few short weeks, you'll be able to get that paperback where you can pull out the pencil and the highlighter and just go to town. And another amazing part about this book is each one of these amazing authors have not only been willing to share their story and their guidance with you, but there'll also be information on how you can reach out to these people. They've shared their contact information because they're willing to be that mentor to you if that is something that you feel you would need to go through your journey of figuring out how to take control of your life and make those changes. So thank you all for being transparent. Thank you all for being motivational. Thank you all for being willing to go on this journey with others too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have an amazing rest of your
Bye,
week.
ladies.
Bye,
Have an awesome day.
everybody. Bye. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Go vote. Vote.